Greetings, everyone. Greetings, lovers of freedom. I greet every one of you wherever you are watching. I want to drop this message to our people so that our people will know one thing and all of us will understand the truth because we need to know the truth. Now, have you asked yourself why Africans are not developing? Why are let me say, 90% of African youth are jobless? Why is Africa not competing with other continents? When I say Africa, I mean the African continent. Why are we not competing among others, other continents? The reason is this. When you check every continent, when you check every country, there is something called production. Production is the act of producing new things, act of creating, creativity, act of bringing out your knowledge, inventing. Now, if you check the whole African continent, the reason why you see South Africa outstanding among other Africans is because South Africa are into production. The only place you can see that is producing something with their natural resources are South Africa. Now, when you come to Nigeria, Nigeria have every natural resources that they need to use to produce some certain things. But have you asked yourself, why are they not producing it? We have a lot of graduates. Our African countries are focusing in creating religions, creating churches and mosques up and down, instead of engaging in production. Now, when you check any country that is moving forward around the world, you will see that that country has something they are producing. Because when you are producing something, automatically you have to give the people you have created a job. Out of when you create a job, you have limited corruption. When you create a job, you have limited crime. You cannot fight crime with imported goods. Now, when you check African countries, 100% of them are into importing. African countries are not into exporting, because you can export what you have, what you produce. You can only export your product. But there is no country in Africa that are into exporting. The same, even Nigeria are not into exporting, because what is Nigeria, with the amount of crude oil they have, they are not into exporting, because they don't even know how to make that oil to become their own goods. Nigeria is importing petroleum, meanwhile they are oil producing country. Uganda are importing telephone, meanwhile they are the producer of the Android phone materials. Why South Africa is different? The aluminiums, the ions, most of the European countries here are using are being produced in South Africa, and they export. When you check most of the things that we call African made today are coming from South Africa. African depend on already made goods, and that is why we are living in abject poverty. White people, they utilize, they use every opportunity. Africa have not realized that their power lies in productivities. Your power lies in what you can produce, what you can manufacture. How can we not be no African country that can stand and say, this is an African-made car, This machine is made of Africa. This product is African made. They are the people exporting it all over the world. There is no country in Africa that is not trapped down by the religion. Only African that are into this religion madness. And we think that this is how we can make it to the top. When you talk about other electronics, you see Japan, they are very proud. Sony Electronics, Sony DVD, all manner of things are being produced by the white. When we say white people, many of you don't know. If you come, I don't even know who the people you people are referring as white people. When you travel around the world, you will understand how things are functioning. My pain is this: the so-called pastors, the so-called our politicians, they travel around the world. They see how things are being done, yet they cannot emulate them. They cannot bring the good things to us. The car, the machines, even Africa, that their land is well fertile for agriculture, cannot produce a very tools that they can use in farming. They still depend in a white people. Do you know how many of our youth are dying in Mediterranean Sea every day? Yet Africans cannot use their brain. All we care is how we will protect Allah, protect Jesus. We are not caring about how we will protect and give our youth a meaningful future. We are not caring how can we engage into productivity, how can we engage into manufacturing, how can we engage into making life more easier for our own people. African man is ready to lay his life down for Jesus. African man is ready to lay his life down for Allah. African man is ready to protect a white image. But African man is not ready to pay a price for his village to have electricity. The electricity, we are crying that there is no light. Do you know that electricity is being generated from water? Yet we have a lot of graduates. The government have projected and make us to think that there is another way we can make life better apart from the government producing the necessary things. And our youth have lost focus that they cannot hold the government responsible to make them produce what they're supposed to produce. At this junction, the Nigerian government today is passing law. There will be no more protests unless it is being authorized by the same government. Now tell me, the youth are there watching such law going on. The law have passed first read, and it's not yet a law. Pardon me for that very error. It is a bill. The bill have passed the first read, passing the second one. Very soon, the Nigerian senators and the House of Representatives will pass a bill that nobody can protest. If you protest without the authorization of the people who are pushing you down, they will jail you 5 years. Yet we have SCUG president, we have student union, all these things. We have the youth leaders, we have every youth wing, and they know that this bill is to trap them down. Yet they fold their hands and the leg. And when we tell you about the religion, African man will chase the war, is ready to fight to defend unnecessary religion, but he is not ready to defend the thing that will put food for him. These are the things our people need to rise up against. These are the things Africans need to rise up. There is no African country that is fighting for the future of the youth. Have you asked yourself, why is all the African continent is not competing among other countries? In terms of football, Africa is nowhere to be found. In terms of anything, there is no way you can find Africa. Because we all believe that manna can come from heaven, that there is a miracle somewhere waiting for us. The only thing that can make Africa move forward is when Africa starts into manufacturing and production, and they start exporting their own product and stop the white people from coming to take what belongs to us. And any government that rise against the youth need to finish the government. That is why you don't need to wait for China to put a revolution to you. You need to start a revolution by yourself to have a target, because if Russia sponsor revolution for you, it will be for the benefit of Russia. If China sponsor revolution for you, it will be a benefit of Russia. That is why when you go to Africa, anywhere you see coup being sponsored by another country, that country will still remain stagnant, no moving forward, because anyone that they remove, they will put another one that will serve the interest of the person that helped him or her to enter power. But if the youth can rise and take over the power by themselves, they will have the opportunity to make their own law. They will have the opportunity to put things in order. But when we say this, some of you will say, Mazi, come back home. You will see one building, more than 10 churches will be on inside. They are building churches, and alone building churches. What is the benefit of building churches? No benefit. Do you know that if Nigeria can engage in refining their oil and they use their hands to export petroleum different, kerosene different, gas different, do you know how many job opportunity that Nigeria will create? Some of you will say, oh, the white people brought education for us. What have the education they brought for us? What have he helped you to achieve? You go to school, end of the day, you are looking for job. There is no job, because there is no company that is producing anything that you will go there with your knowledge to bring what you have studied in school. It is very painful watching the entire Africa going down, yet the youth have become coward. The white people put disunity among us. I tell our people that Igbos don't love themselves. Some will say we love ourselves. I don't know what you think about love. You think love is all about eating your brother's house? That is love? Of course, that is not love. Love goes beyond that. When are we going to come together to take out this country? Nigerian youth, you are watching old cargoes making law to trap you down for more than 1 million years. And the rotation of the leaders will be going hand to hand. After they rule, their own children will rule you. The Europe have done a lot of things. Look at Facebook. Mark Zuckerberg manufactured it, discovered it. Do you know how many workers Facebook have? Do you know how many people Facebook have lifted from poverty? 90% of Nigerian youth today are surviving through Facebook and YouTube. And the more you survive, you depend on through Facebook and YouTube, the more lazy and useless your children, your future children will become. Because in no distance time, there will be no content to create. That is why you see some people like Aisha using their family and their wife and their private life to cash out. Ask yourself this question. Why is African continent not moving forward? Why is Africa not competing with other countries? What is holding us down? The three things that is holding us down is, number one is religion. Number two is the government, our leaders. Let me tell Africans, most especially Nigerians, if we cannot rise to take these evil politicians out of our way, believe you me, we will suffer it. Christianity have done more damage than good. Some will tell you that Christianity bring education. Ask the person, the best student in Nigeria, what is he producing? Where is he working? The people that graduated from Nigeria last year, what impact have they made in the society? What have you achieved with your education, apart from suffering and smiling? Go to China, they are not educated according to your own standard of education. Come to Italy, they are not educated according to your own standard of education because they don't know how to speak English. Go to India that has the best medical doctor. They are not English-speaking country. But these people are making impact. They understand that they are engaging in human resources, into production, into creativity. This can only reduce the crime in every nation. Do you think that if Europe or American continent have the resources that are in Africa, do you think that the world power will ever shift out of Africa? Africa will be like heaven on earth. But look at the way Africa is. When you say, oh, don't touch tongue, man of God, the man of God who cannot preach the gospel truth, how is he man of God? A pastor that cannot speak the truth, how is he a pastor? A reverend father who cannot look to the governor and tell him, you are a failure. How can you do that? Go and read Bible and see how the men of God function. But our own, I shed tears every day. So this is how Africa is going to continue. Till when? This is how Africa is going to continue. Till when? I will leave you with this question. For how long are we going to continue with this religious fight, protecting Jesus and protecting Allah? Until when? Why other continents are moving forward? Ask yourself, what is Africa producing? What is Africa manufacturing? What is Africa engaging themselves to create job opportunity, to reduce the crime? Even if you chase the government out without rising up as a youth to do the needful, you will never move forward. Africa need to change the narrative now. African youth. That's all I have to say. I remember my humble self. MAP Ezioku Bundo. One in Biafra land. Thank you, and remain blessed. Africa, rise up. Let us do this once and for all. Let us restore our dignity and lay a good foundation for our future children. We need to take our destiny in our hands. We must learn how to chase every foreigner that is stealing our natural resources out. But before we do that, we must persuade our government. Let us engage into manufacturing, production, and the other things. That is the only thing that can help us. If we continue running out of our country, that is not a solution to our problem. Our solution remains that we need to rise up and chase every old layers, those that are putting us in this suffer, making the laws that will not benefit the youth. Those that have stealing our destinies, we need to fight it and take it back. That is the only way out. Revolution is the solution. That's all I have to tell you. Thank you and remain blessed. Until I come your way again. No retreat, no surrender. IPOB, one family. I still want to use this opportunity to remind every Biafrans and lovers of freedom, IPOB members, who are here in Italy to know that 30th May, all road lead to Rome. All road leads to Rome. You must be a partaker of this very Remembrance Heroes Day. We need to honor them so that their soul will continue to fight for the restoration of Biafra, which is the only solution to the African people today. Thank you. I remain blessed. And God bless you all. No retreat, no surrender.